Too much to say, too much to lose. I get frustrated thinking about the world I brought you to. It's a battle of time that I have with you. We don't decide the how, the when, or if we make it through. I feel that you deserve a chance to know the truth and to be better than the ones who came before you, only to let pride and money weaken them. So be the young, the brave, the powerful, 'cause the world is standing waiting for someone.
Okay, good day everyone, Mr. Joe here, and today we'll be talking about flags and pennants. Okay, I know that during the course of your learning, probably on your own, or those you've heard things like bull flags or bullish flags, bear flags or bearish flag, bullish pennants or bearish pennants. So today you're going to understand it fully, so you understand how to use them. Okay, how to use them in your charts to be able to arrive at a profitable trade. So let's start. First thing first, we have to explain these things, and then we'll go to the charts and see how we can be able to practicalize it so that you see how it works. So flags and pennants are great chart patterns for trading with the trend. They are best used in strong trading markets. So one thing you have to understand is that they are part of the charting tools that you can use, okay, to determine the next movement of the market. Remember, what we do mostly is to use the past and the present to determine the future. So we analyze based on what has happened in the past and what is currently happening in the right now in the charts to determine what will happen in next minute, which we don't really know. Okay, so flags and pennants are one of the tools you can use to actually get to understand the next move in the market. So flags and pennant charts patterns are considered to be continuation patterns. So one thing that you have to pick out when it has to do with flags and pennant is that they are continuation patterns. So continuation either in the downtrend or continuation either in the uptrend. So number one thing you have to first of all determine is what actually is the trend in the market. Is it a bullish trend or a bearish trend? And you also check based on time frame. Some people will be on the shorter time frame, some on the higher time frame. They now determine, are we actually bullish on the long term, bearish on the short term, or bullish on the short term, bearish on the long term, or both bullish everywhere bull or everywhere bear. So you have to first determine, okay, so that you now know which pattern are you actually, which trend are you actually saying is going to continue after the consolidation period. So flags and pennant chart patterns are considered to be continuation patterns when conducting chart pattern analysis. Flags and pennants can be taken to the long side or to the short side, depending on the direction of the prior trend. So it is particularly important to do an analysis on this chart pattern with extreme caution or with a confirmation trading plan tactics. So I should tell my students, you don't just, let's say after training of flags and pennants, you become an expert on flags and pennants. You don't just say, okay, because I know flags and pennants, I'm going to trade on this alone. No, you have to have confirmation from other tools like the RSI, the Bollinger, the MACD, the Ichimoku. There are a lot of other tools. So what I advise people is make sure you verify whatever you want to play with, at least three or more tools. Okay, and if they support the move you want to take, then that's it. You go all in and see how it plays out. So normally if the trend has come from the upside and formed a flag or pennant, then you can consider the trend to continue up. Remember, we said it is a trend continuation pattern, so you can expect the trend to continue up when the resistance has been broken. So I will show you what I mean by the resistance, the support and the resistance. So it usually trades consolidates in between that flag But once it breaks outside that flag upward, that means the trend has been bullish. So if it breaks upward, that means that's a new this thing, a new a new cycle starting. So and you can jump in and make some money for yourself. So obviously we don't advise that you jump the gun, because like any other chart pattern, you need confirmation of price breaks before the pattern is confirmed. The same has to be said if the price is coming from a downside and a flag or pennant is formed. So usually I'll still show you how to determine if it's truly a price break or just some of those wicks that you see. Okay, so usually I tell people, for you to confirm, it's a candle has to open and close. Okay, it has to open and close above the resistance, which will now stand as support. But then remember, when these breakouts come, they come very quick. But that's okay. If you miss the first one, you wouldn't move, because most times it comes in like 1, 2, 3, like in 3 phases. You have the first move, the second move, the third move. So it all determines. It all depends on how big that move that is coming is. But there's no how you don't see at least 2 moves. So if you miss the first one and still jumping after the after the retracement, then the next move you still make your money. You learn all those ones when I teach you about Elliott waves. Okay, so you understand how these waves work. So these two chart patterns do not vary in their development, but to be considered a flag or a pennant, it has to have a sharp increase or decline in price action with noticeable increase in volume. The trend lines that contain both chart patterns need a point of reference to be drawn, which is also the area that we call the support resistance area. So the two different ways of identifying both of these areas are explained below. Now, all these ones are grammar. I will still show you pictorial view about all these things I'm explaining here, and we'll go to the chart and see it practicalized live. So like with any other continuation pattern, this is the period in the price action where the market needs to take a break, consolidate before continuing on its prior trends journey. Remember, the market does not just go straight, it goes in a wave-like pattern, and most times when it does it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it has to consolidate. So if it consolidates, it has to just rest a bit, and when it finishes that rest, it will move up again. Okay, so within this, but that's for Elliott wave anyway, but this is a different thing altogether, because the consolidation period in terms of patterns, they are not really too big. It's not like it's going to be for a very long period of time or it's going to be big moves. No, one of the things that will confirm that yes, this is actually a flag, okay, or a pattern, is that the volume will decrease. Remember, the first move, which is the stick, like if you are holding a flag, there's a stick. That stick is a long move. It has very big volume that came. So after that, the volume will move out. So when the volume moves out, the consolidation will now happen in between that flag aspect of it. That place you see the clothes in the flag, like a Nigerian flag. So it will just be going up and down within that range. Okay, so if it breaks out either up, that means the prior trend was a bullish trend. But if it breaks down, that means the prior trend was a bearish trend, so it will continue down. Okay, it does not just go one way. It has to stop, rest, and then continue the journey. That's how it works. Now, flag. The shape of the flag is recognizable as it forms in the opposite direction to the established trend contained by parallel trend line and slope. I'll show you this. So pennants, these are similar to symmetrical triangles, but the difference is the sharp up move, and they are 90% neutral with lower highs and higher lows. Now, when you say lower highs, it means that anyway, I'll show you with the chart. I'll show you with the chart so you understand it very well. When it moves up, let's say it gets to, let me use 1 to 100. It moves up, it gets to 70. It moves down, it gets to 50. The next move up, it gets to 60. So it did not go as high as that 70 went in the first move. Okay, it moves down again, it gets to let's say 55. It moves up again, 58. It doesn't get to that last 60. So in such case, you're saying it's making a lower high. The next high is lower than the previous high. That's what we mean by lower high, and higher lows. Okay. Now, how to identify the chart patterns? 1. establish trend. First of all, you have to establish the fact that you are in a trend, either a bullish trend or a bearish trend. So as with any other continuation pattern, there must be an established trend to continue. Flags and pennants have to be formed after an established up or down trend. So let's say the market is dumping, it dumps to a particular state, it now rests, okay, and now forms a flag or a pennant. Now that is a trend that has been established, which is that the market is bearish. So you are expecting it to continue the move down. So when you see that flag or pennant and it follows the rules I'm going to show you here, you can confirm to yourself that yes, there's likely the probability is high that the market will break down and continue that trend, which is the bearish trend. Okay, first of all, you need to understand what trend are you in. If it is bearish trend and you see a flag or a pennant forming, you don't expect it to break up, except that is like the bottom of that move. That's why I say use other tools, okay, other tools to now determine whether this is actually the correct flag or pennant that you want to trade. Okay, now the second thing you need to watch out for is that there must be a sharp move prior. Okay, after the trend has been established, the other associated requirement with the pattern is that the trend has an oscillatory move in price, which is a flagpole. Let me even show you. For example, here, this is a bullish trend. Okay, if you look at this place now, this is the move we are talking about. Like, this is like a pole, a sharp move up. As you can see, this move came with a lot of power. So when he made this move, okay, now this actually is a pennant. It comes like a symmetrical triangle. Now this is a consolidation period. It's making higher lows. This is the first high. The next high here is lower than this high. Okay, the next high here is lower than this high, just like that. Then it's making higher lows. This is the first low. Second low is higher than the last low. Third low, fourth low, just like that. The lows are not going as deep as the last one. So that shows you that it's forming a pennant. So what do you expect? The trend here is bullish because this is the first move it made. It consolidated here. It moved again to here. So now it's now forming the same triangle here again. It shows you that there's likelihood that this will break up again upwards. Okay, that this will go up. So when you notice that, you now draw your pennant, and your target will be to be sure anytime this market breaks above this pennant. And then, as you can see, this is the first candle that broke, okay, and then the next candle still entered inside, but a little bit. So for me, I would say that the confirmation is this third candle here, because this third candle opened and closed above this triangle. And as you can see, after this confirmation, this was a perfect one, because most times it will not give you this room for you to ascertain that yes, this is actually the correct breaker that you are looking at for. As you can see, the next one, he made a sharp move. You see, consolidated, and then there was a drop. But that drop, remember, this triangle becomes like a support. Okay, you can say that this breakout is a fake one if it enters back into this triangle. But if it does not touch, or it just touched and moves back up again, then you can still confidently say that yes, that breakout was not a fake one. Okay, and as you can see, the move that now followed was very, very massive. You see, as high as it got. Okay, got so high, so high. So I'll explain this when we get there, but I just wanted you to understand that it's not just about the theory. So let's continue. Now the flagpole is the third one. Remember, the first one was said establish the trend, either bullish or bearish. 2, there must be a sharp move. So that sharp move will now be followed by the third thing, which is the consolidation that I showed in that chart. But let's still continue. The flagpole. The flagpole is the distance from the first resistance or support breakout, support break from the previous move to the high or low of the flags or pennants. Now the pole, the flagpole is still this move that I'm talking about. You see, the move from this place or to this place, you can call it a pole. But that pole does not come straight. It comes, slanted like this because market moves in a wave-like pattern like this, up down up down up down till it gets to where it's going to. So when you see it, it will not look straight. It has to be straight up like this. Okay, so you have to understand that there must be a pole for you to say yes, that this is actually a pennant or a flag that you're looking out for. So if you cannot be able to determine that pole, like for this place now, it's very hard to determine that pole because the moves here are very, very small. Okay, it has to be long enough and with force for you to say yes, this is the pole and this is the consolidation period, and that consolidation period must make higher lows, lower highs and higher lows here, lower highs here. Okay, and it must now slant. If it is a pennant you're talking about, when it gets to the end, you should be expecting something, a breakout, either upward or downward. And what helps you to determine whether it will be up or down is the trend. Now, as you can see, the trend here, the prior trend before this move was bullish, so we expected it to move up, and it did the same thing. But that's not to say that it will do this all the time. It will not do it all the time. Okay, so you will have to confirm it with other tools, which I will still show you. So that's for the flag pole. Now the volume. Both of these chart patterns have characteristics that you should look out for when looking at volume. The main being increase of volume at the breakout point. So the breakout point will come with large volume, and the second is a decrease in volume while in the consolidation stage of the pattern. So let me explain it with this chart here. Now here, this whole move here came with a very big volume. Look at the volume here. See this volume here, very big, very, very big. You see how big, massive funds entered. Shows you that there was a serious volume increase. Okay, now look at the consolidation period. The volume now decreased. It was not as high as this place, or as high as this place when it made this other move. Okay, so this is one thing you have to look out for. The first move, which is the pole, will have to come with a very big volume. Okay, and that volume, it has to come like instantaneously and then push it. Now when it pushes it, this consolidation period, the volume has to be small because we don't expect big moves here. Just small moves, big enough to touch the resistance, okay, and also the support line till it gets to the end of the pennant or the flag. If it is a flag that you're trading, then boom, the next move goes. So you have to be very, very careful in watching the volume to know if there was enough volume to form a pole here, and the volume decreased when it was now ranging, or when it was now doing, consolidating. That's one of the indicators that yes, you have a flag or a pennant. Now the support, the trend line that is supporting the higher lows in an uptrend and vice versa in a downtrend. So support and resistance is another thing you have to look out for. Now let's go to that chart again. Now this is the support line. This line you see here in this triangle. This is the support line. The down one is the support line. This is the resistance line. When I teach support and resistance, I use a building, for example, a decking, let's say 2-story building. In a 2-story building, when you are on the down floor or the ground floor, when you look up, that decking you see there is the resistance. Resistance in the sense that it stops you from going up. So just look at it like, let's say you have a magical power and you were able to break through that decking. You enter the first floor, right? The first floor. When you enter the first floor, you are now sitting on top of the decking, the other decking that you did not break, right? That decking now, let's say it closes up and it becomes like a support, because you cannot go down again except with another big force. So that support again, the next thing you are looking at is the next one, which is the second floor, right? And in that second floor, before you break through that second floor, you will also jam another resistance. So just look at it. Look at this triangle as this down one being the support. When it hits here, it has something holding it from breaking down. So, and this, because it's a triangle, like it forms a symmetrical triangle, it now keeps making a higher low, because it has to keep to this support, and this support is this triangle, this line you're seeing here, this down line is the support. The same thing to do when it comes to the up one, which is now the resistance. When he hits it, he has to bounce back. And he hits it, he has to bounce back. As you can see here, this one he hit it and he broke above it. But this is a wick. This is a wick. If I explain if you were, you took the class on candlestick, when we took candlestick, you will understand that in this wick, in this candle here, we have the open, the close. Okay, we have the open, the close, the highest and the lowest point. So this is the highest point. Okay, it got to. Now it broke out of this triangle, but it still went back. Most times what happens here is that maybe the exchanges, they push this a little bit, or the bulls, they pushed it a little bit, and then it went up, but it could not break out very well. It could not break out very well. It now went back. So you have to be very, very careful. You cannot just say that this rules is strict. No. And you cannot say that anytime you see any candle break above it, that is a confirmation that is the breakout. No. Somebody must have entered here thinking that this is the breakout, and then this market now tanked back again. And if it does not have enough patience, you can just sell it off at a loss here and maybe even close the trade before the main move that was expecting happen. So for you to actually say that the breakout has happened, make sure you see another confirming candle that opens and closes above that resistance line. So if it opens and closes above that resistance line, it means that it's not taking that resistance line as a support. But this one opened, okay, inside this triangle, right, and closed inside this triangle, but it got to a point where it got above the triangle. Okay, now look at the next candle that followed. The next candle opened and closed and got to the highest and lowest point inside the triangle. So you cannot say that that's a breakout. So but for this one, as you can see, it happened here again. Okay, but the second triangle now opened and closed outside this triangle. So this triangle becomes a support. So the next thing is for you to look for the next support, which is to start going, the next resistance, which is to start going up. Okay, now let's continue. Don't worry, all this grammar, you will understand it better when we get to the chart. So I've explained the support and the resistance. Now the breakout. This is the confirmation that price action will continue in the direction of the prior trend. Confirmation still needs to be that the price closes outside the support / resistance area, which I have just explained. If it is a bullish trend, you know that what we are looking at is that price opened and closed outside the resistance. But if it's a bearish trend, you know that what you are looking at is that price opened and closed outside the support line. You understand it now? It means that it will now continue going down to look for the next support. Now you can often see price returning to test the support / resistance trend line, but it does not necessarily have to. Also, you can combine the breakout confirmation with a volume surge for extra confirmation. Now let's look at this chart to use and explain that. Now there was a confirmation of breakout here. It moved. Most times it will just move straight up without coming to test this support again. But you see what happened here? It got here, it did a very sharp decline. But what will confirm to you here that this particular thing here does not mean that this breakout is fake is if and only if it does not break into this triangle again. If it does break into this triangle again and start going down, maybe that will be, you can call that a fake out. But most times, if you get this thing very right, it's likely that it will respect this support. And as you can see, it did not even touch this triangle and it started moving up. Most people will jump out when they see this red candle here. Most people will jump out. People like knobs, people who don't know what they are doing. But if you know what you are doing, you know that when you actually take this breakout now, your support should be, your stop loss, should be a little bit below the triangle. It's possible to touch the triangle, break it a bit, and still bounce back. That's like what I explained here, the wick that happens. So you have to go a little bit below the triangle. So if anything should come down there, you know, yes, that is possible. Or you can even take it a little bit further and just go below this support line. But that means your stop loss will have to like be big. It might be using, let's say, 5% or 10% in trade, which is big. Me personally, I use 5%. If I lose 5% of my capital as my stop loss, if that area has like a support and resistance, depending on what plan I'm actually playing in the market, that's fine for me. Okay, so you have to actually determine your risk to reward ratio to understand how to place your stop loss. So we've explained the breakouts. Now, breakout confirmation. A very important thing to remember is to only take the breakout if it occurs in the same direction as the trend prior to the pattern. This is because, as previously mentioned, it is a continuation pattern. So let's say, for example, here, this breakout, instead of breaking up, because you know that this trend here is a bullish trend, it now breaks down outside this triangle, and open a candle and close it outside this triangle. Then you cannot successfully call this a bullish flag or a bullish pennant. Okay, you cannot, because remember, this is a continuation pattern. You must continue the previous pattern, the previous trend. The trend here is bullish, so you are expecting it to go up. So if you see it breaks below this, then this fails. This strategy fails. It fails. So if I'm actually going to trade this, let's say I will do some scalping inside this place, this consolidation period. My stop loss should be a little bit below this triangle, so that if it breaks outside this triangle and continues down, then I'm out. My stop loss stops me from the major loss, because it might just break down seriously. Okay, and the same thing if I am shorting. Let's say I'm just scalping here inside this triangle. Remember, if I want to be safe in my scalp, let's say I enter a short trade. You know, you can either long or short. I'm going to be using this support line and this resistance line as just a little bit above the resistance, a little bit below the support, as my stop loss. So if anything happens, I'll be safe if it is scalping that I'm doing. Because you can't actually predict when it is going to do this breakout. But the only thing that helps us to guide us is when you draw this triangle to look like a symmetrical triangle. When it's now start getting to the end, the possibility is nearing that the breakout is about to happen. As you can see, it did not get to the end here, but it was just about to, and then it broke out. So it gives you that clue as to when the breakout will happen. But it's not like it's 100% sure that it must happen here where it happened there, or it will happen at the end of this triangle. Nobody knows. So, but you just watch out with your stop loss intact. Okay, so here we are. Let me now explain this chart with all those grammar I've been saying. Look at this. This chart is actually old. As at when BTC went to 13K6 thereabouts. Okay, I was in this 2020, I think April 20th. April 20th. Let me see. This is Bitcoin USD. Okay, don't worry about the charts, but let me just use that and explain this for you. Now look at this chart very well. You see it's actually explained this pennant for you very well. Explain the pennant for you very well. We say that the pennant will have to form like a symmetrical triangle. It has to have a pole. The pole is that sharp move that will move up, and then the consolidation period, which has to happen inside that triangle. Then the breakout, which will have to be a continuation of the former of the trend, and the trend here is bullish. You have to determine, is it bullish or bearish. Now to calculate how much you are supposed to make, like when you are supposed to take profit, just calculate the prior move. Look at the prior move. Look, this is where this move actually consolidated and started. Now you calculate it from here to the end of this move. You now determine how much percentage is here. You now place the same thing here. That is what will now determine where you should go out in this market. As you can see, if I had put my take profit here, this market actually hit it and went above, but you cannot actually determine the exact place the market will get to. These two just helps you to determine the possible places it can get to, and as you can see, this is good profit. I mustn't take everything. It's possible I'll just maybe try to take everything and place it a little bit above. It will not even hit it and it will now go down. And you see how fast it went down. It was like a very sharp drop, and it dropped almost back to where I entered, or even below. Okay, because I entered somewhere here and it got below before it now came up again. Okay, let's continue. Now, I brought this poll to actually explain to you also what I mean by that. But the polls that we actually look at in checking our pennants or flag is not usually long, straight like this. It has to be slanted like this, because the market moves like this, up and down. See, that's if it's a bullish trend. If it's a bearish trend, up and down. Okay, just like that. So, but this explains to you this particular one. When you see something that looks like this, you can say it is a bullish flag if it is in an uptrend. If it is in a downtrend, it is a bearish flag. Now, this is how a pennant looks. A pennant looks like a triangle. Okay, the support and the resistance tries to meet, but in the flag, the support and resistance are not meeting. They don't meet. They just go their separate way. So you now look at this point. If anything happens and it moves above this point, then you say that yes, the breakout has happened. If it moves below, the breakout has happened if it is in a bearish trend. Now let me just explain with this picture. This picture explains everything now. Difference between a flag and a pennant. Now look at it very well. The first two above, they are the flags. The second two below, they are the pennants. So I explained to you, the flags look like a normal flag you see. Now it will have to make lower highs. This is the first high. The second high was lower than this one. The third high was lower. And for you to actually draw your trend line, I'll show you how to draw it. You must have to connect 2 or more. 3 is the perfect number. But if you can be able to connect 2, it's still fine. And as you can see, this person, they connected 3. So this is the first one, the second one, the third one. You now draw it to connect to those 3 points that the market has hit and retraced back. The same thing with the support. Where did it hit and bounce back? You connect at least 3. Okay, so the idea now is that if for any reason the market breaks below or above this, then you have to reanalyze. But now, with this particular pattern, it is, like we said, a continuation pattern. This is a bullish one because the first one that happened was bullish. So we are expecting that now that it's resting to take, get energy to now move again, that the next move will be a breakout, like above, a breakout above to continue the bullish move. So you see what happens here, it broke above, boom, and that's profit if you predicted that it's going to go up. Now, if it is a bearish flag, this is how it happened. There was a move from here. Let's say the sharp move came from here, down here. It consolidated here, okay? And now the breakout one way down here, okay? It consolidated here. You're expecting another move, and that move will have to be down. And what shows you that this is actually a bearish flag is that the highs will now be higher highs. You see, higher highs. Remember, this is a downtrend though, and most people, when they just see higher highs, what comes to their mind is that trend has reversed too, and then they'll start going long on this market. But remember, if it is a bear flag, it has to make higher highs in the consolidation. So when you draw your flag, your trend lines to determine your flag, then you have to be sure that in this consolidation period, it's making higher highs and higher lows. This is the first low. This is the second low. This is the third low. Higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So now when you see that, you draw your trend line. If it breaks below this trend line, then that's the breakout. You enter when she confirmed the breakout. And what did I say? That is the confirmation of the breakout. When you see a candle that opens and closes above or below, depending on the trend. For this particular one, it has to be below the support. This is the support line. If any candle comes up here, opens, closes below this support line, then it's a confirmation that this is actually the right breakout to trade, and you jump in and follow the ride. So that is for flags. Now pennants, the difference between flags and pennants is just how this trend lines is being drawn. This one comes up like a symmetrical triangle, but this one comes up like a flag. You know how a flag looks like now. These two lines, they are not struggling to meet, they don't meet, but these lines, they meet. And the idea is that as it is becoming slopey, as it's becoming tighter, that is how, you know, closer the breakout is. So when the price keeps coming, making moves inside this triangle, when it's getting to the end, it's showing you that there's likelihood that in the breakout is close. Okay, but you cannot say that you will determine exactly when the breakout will happen, but it usually happens towards the end of this triangle. Okay, so you watch it out. If it's a bullish trend, what did I tell you? The resistance line, you know, the price there will have to be making lower highs. This is lower high. The first high, the second high is lower than the first one, third high lower than the second one, just like that. That's what we call lower highs. And the lows will be making higher lows. This low, the second low was higher, third low higher. That's what we call higher lows. That's in a bullish trend. So these are the things that will confirm. First, the pole, the strong move up. Second, the consolidation period. And inside this consolidation period, it must be making, if it's an uptrend, it must be making lower highs and higher lows. Then in the triangle shows you, if it's a triangle, it shows that it's a pennant that you are drawing actually. Then when it's getting to the end of that triangle, it's possible, the probability is high that the breakout is about to happen. When it happens, it should go upwards if all these other things were maintained, because this particular pattern is a continuation pattern. Now let's explain the bearish pennant. The bearish pennant, same thing applies here. It will have to make lower highs and higher lows. But the difference now between the bullish and the bearish pennant is that, remember we said it's a continuation pattern. What is the pattern here? The market has been going down, so the pattern it has to continue is bearish pattern. So you'll be looking out to when it breaks out below this triangle. Okay, if it does, the confirmation is that the candle must open and close below the support line. This support becomes the resistance, and you expect it to now keep going down. Okay, how do you now calculate how much profit you are supposed to take? You calculate the percentage between this place to this last place. You now use it to calculate where price will get to, okay, where you should take profit. So if this is 10% move, then you should calculate 10% move here and take profits here in shorting the market. And bull flag and bear flag pattern summed up. Let's now summarize this whole thing I've been talking about. A flag is considered a continuation pattern in technical analysis. That is number one. You have to know that a flag is a continuation pattern. First thing you determine is the pattern. Is it you know, the trend, is it bullish or bearish? If it has been bullish and that flag is formed, you expect another move up. If it has been bearish and that flag is formed, you expect another move down. So the flag pole represents the trend which precedes the flag, the trend, and it has to be sharp. It has to be, you know, very, very, very sharp. Like enough volume came, bam, they moved. I'll show you with BTC exactly what BTC did yesterday and day before yesterday. Okay, I'll show you now. The flag highlights a consolidation after a trend. There must be a consolidation, and that consolidation is where you see the flag, if it is a bull flag or a bear flag, and the pennant, if it is a pennant that you actually draw. With time, you determine which one works better for you and you use it, or even use both of them, depending on if they play out. You actually know the one that play out in your chart, and then use it to determine your support and your resistance. So a bull flag suggests that the preceding uptrend will be continued. So if it's a bull flag, you see, it shows that the bullishness will continue. So you're expecting the price to keep moving up. Now a bear flag suggests that the preceding downtrend will be continued. It's that simple. What actually is happening in the market? Is the market going down and you now rest at a place and start consolidating? What do you expect after that consolidation? Is another breakdown if all the criteria I gave you is you can see them in your chart. We'll do the live one so that you understand it better. So the height of the flagpole projected from the breakout level, we arrive at a proportionate target. So this one shows you where to take profit. You calculate the height of the flagpole, calculate the percentage. I'll show you on TradingView how to calculate the percentage move. That same percentage move is what you now use to determine where the next move will get to. So it is proportionate. It must not, there's nothing that is 100% sure anyway, but it is likely to get to that point and surpass it. So, but you are not looking at the exact point, you are looking at the price that is likely to get to. So you now place your take profit. If you don't want to take too much risk, once you've determined it, let's say it's 10%, you can take profit at 6% or 7%. You mustn't take the whole move, okay? Because I tell you the truth, in this industry, you might draw your trend line, all those things. These people are also watching you, like the exchanges, the whales, all those people. They know where most people will put their take profit. So it's possible they will just push this market before it gets to that place. Because remember, the exchanges, they see where you place all these things. Their software shows them all those things. So there are people that mistake profit by one sat, just one sat. Just one sat, you put it to be at let's say in dollar, if it is you put it to take profit at $7,736. It gets to $7,735 and the market goes down. Just $1 for it to hit your target, and the market just flops far down to where you entered or even below. So in such cases, you should try and take profit a little bit below where your chart is showing you to take profit. Don't be too greedy. So when trading a bull flag, traders might use a move below the lower level of support as a stop loss or failure level. Let me read that again. When trading a bull flag, like when you are trading an uptrend, you are predicting that the market will break out and go up again. Traders might use a move below the lower level. Now, what is the lower level? Which is the support line. Okay, lower level of support as a stop loss or failure level. Let me show you in this chart. Now look at this move here. If you are trading, this is a bullish pennant actually. Okay, this is a bullish pennant. If you are trading this move now, what you use as your stop loss is a move below the support line. This line I showed here is the support line. So I'll determine where exactly, because as it is going in, as this is sloping now, when the breaker happens, okay, and I enter, right, my support will now be a little bit below the support, okay, which is this triangle here, okay. And some people will use the resistance, because this resistance becomes a support. A little bit below this resistance line can serve as your support, as your stop loss, sorry. So if it breaks down and enters back into this triangle, okay, and hit your stop loss, it's possible that the market will now, that's the fake out, and market will continue going down. So you are now safe. Take a little loss and wait it out for the next setup, or even enter if you are sure that there has been a trend reversal. Okay. So a bear flag suggests that the preceding downtrend, we'll explain this. So volume patterns are often used to confirm bull and bear flag price pattern. What did I explain about volume? I said that when the pole is being formed, that sharp move that will happen and be very long, right? There will have to be a volume increase, serious volume increase that will push the market to that place. Now during the consolidation, there have to be a volume decrease. Okay, that confirms to you. Now during the next breakout, there has to be a volume increase. So when you now start seeing an increase in volume, you know that yes, this breakout is sure. Now the momentum, how far it can go, depends on how much volume comes. Okay, remember this whole thing is determined by the forces of the demand and supply. So in a bull flag, rising volume into the flagpole and declining volume into the flag validates the pattern and assumptions that the preceding uptrend will be continued. If the volume rises into the flagpole and it now declines into the flag, like inside the flag, right, it validates the pattern, that this pattern is correct, and that you expect that the next move will continue that particular uptrend. because the trend here is bullish. That's for a bull flag. Now, but if it is bearish, now rising volume into the flag pool, volume that leads to the flag, right, will be very, very high. Now, when it gets inside the flag and start consolidating, right, the volume will now decline. By volume, it means how many people are buying and selling inside this place. It will be very, very low. Okay, that's why it cannot go further than hitting the support and resistance lines here. So that validates the pattern and assumptions. You now assume that the preceding downtrend will be continued, but you don't just use because of this and enter. You don't just enter hoping that it will go down. No, you must confirm, and confirmation is only through the breakout. So when you see that breakout outside that support line, and then you see another candle that opens and closes, below, that's your support line, which now becomes a resistance, you can now confirm that yes, this is a good breakout, and you enter. Okay, so a high volume bar on a flag breakout suggests a higher probability of the pattern success. High volume bar on a flag breakout suggests a higher probability of the pattern's success. Now let me explain what that means. If you go to this chart here, this I showed you that this indicates the volume. As you can see, when the flag was formed here, this is a very big volume that came in here. When it was consolidating here, the volume dropped. It dropped. Now here it came in small, right? As you can see, before the breakout here, before this massive volume. So this first one, now when you now start seeing this green green stuff here rising, it's increasing, it shows you that volume is increasing, and it shows you that the next move will be very, very big. Okay, but I don't actually use it 100%. I just calculate the move, the prior move, determine how many percent that is, and expect that the next move should give me that same percentage profit. And I don't take all of them. I take like 2/3 of that profit, and then wait for my next setup. So let's go to our charts and practicalize this. So, but I think there's something I did not show you in this material, which is I was just using the triangle, which is like the pennant. I did not actually show you a live chart on how the bullish and bearish flag looks like. So let me just type bullish and bearish flag. Let me put it in the chat. See if Google has a chart that shows us. Okay, you can use this image. Even though I showed you an image, but you need to see it in form of a chart where you see this green and red candles. So this is how it looks like, the flag, just like a flag. Okay, the different line is that the support and resistance line, they do not struggle to meet, they don't need to meet. Okay, but in pennants, the support and resistance line, they slope to meet at the end, just like a symmetrical triangle. That's just the difference between a flag and a pennant. Both of them are price continuation patterns. Whichever one suits your chart, that's the one you are going to use. So let's practicalize this right now. We'll go to our charts. Okay, let me reload this chart. This is not actually the chart I was using. Okay, this is my active chart here, and it's easy for you to use previous price action to determine what I just taught you. But what's not easy is for you to now use what's exactly happening in the market, like the current one, to analyze it. So let's see if we can draw a trend line based on what happened in the previous one. Let's use a flag, and remember, it's meant to be slanted somehow so that the highs will be lower, to be making lower highs. Okay, that's for that. And I can draw another trend line here. using this low here, or probably something like this. So let me just use this. This is not a perfect example anyway, but I think this current price action here, I can get something better. Okay, so let's just use this as an example. Remember what we said. But okay, let's still draw for the current one here before we can now finalize. Let's see what happens. To draw for this, I'll use this last two. Let me use this last two to still range for some time anyway. Though I'm hoping something big might happen in this market, maybe tomorrow, because Binance is going on maintenance tomorrow, and CME close for the month. I think it's usually on 25th. Today is 24th, so let's draw this. We'll try to end it with boom. That's it. This looks more like a flag, right? Looks like a flag. If I show you better here, so you can see it looks more like a flag. So let's count the points where my line joined. It joined here, that's 2 here. So, and market is still moving, so it's possible it will hit another one and retrace back to make it the third one before the breakout. But it's not a must. 2, like I said, 2 or more. But to get a strong confirmation, you have to have 3 points. 3 times it has hit that resistance point and bounce back. That's a strong one to show you that that's a strong resistance point. So this is the support. 1 here, 2 here, and we're waiting for another one. So this is more like a channel, though it's slanted. So if you look at it very well, you see it's a flag, a full-fledged flag. So let's go to our PowerPoint so that we'll see how to identify the chart pattern, this particular chart pattern. Remember, the one that we've shown you here is the bull flag. The first thing we said is you have to establish a trend, know whether it is a bullish or a bearish trend. As you can see, the trend prior to this is bullish. It moved here, retraced, and made another move here, and it's doing its consolidation here. So we are expecting it to make another move. But remember, like I told you, you don't just assume that everything is going to work out like that. And that's why you have to confirm the breakout first. So what shows you that this particular setup has failed is if it breaks below the support line. This particular setup is failed. But if it breaks above and a candle opens and closes here, it shows you that this pattern succeeded. It followed your plan. So you are detecting a bull flag here. Doesn't mean you should just enter the market because you detected a bull flag. No, you have to wait for the confirmation. Follow these steps I just gave you. The first one, establish the trend. The trend is bullish, so we're expecting the trend continuation. Like I told you, this chart pattern is a trend continuation chart pattern. It's telling you that the previous trend is meant to continue, and the previous trend here is bullish. It went up all the way from 6,800, moved all the way to 7,700 and above. Okay, so it's bullish, and I'm expecting it to make another move up, right? So, but I'm not going to enter this trade until I confirm, and the confirmation is in the breakout. So the first rule has been established. We've known the trend. Our trend is upward, it's not downward, it's upward. We're expecting another move up because the previous move was an upward move. Now I'm on 1 hour time frame, by the way. Now the next one is the sharp move. After the trend has been established, the other associated requirement with the pattern is that the trend has an accelerated move in price, which is a flag pole. Now this trend has been established all the way from here. Remember, it started from 6.7, it moved all the way 6.9, continued the uptrend 7.1, continued the uptrend 7.175, and so on. So we established that there's a move here because these are all higher highs. It was making higher highs. It shows that there's an uptrend, a bullish momentum here. So now that we've established it, there have to be a very strong sharp move up, which we have established there. And this sharp move is what we call the pole. It establishes the pole for this flag. As you can see, this is actually standing more like a flag here, right? A flag. Now let's go over to the third point that will help us to identify the chart pattern. The third one is the flag pole. They say the flag pole is distant from the first resistance or support break from the previous move to the high or low of the flag / pennant. Now we are looking at the flag. This is the pole. This is the support line here. It could also be from the resistance. This is resistance line here, all the way up to this place. This is what we call the pole, right? The pole. So now that we've established that yes, it has a pole, let's go over to the next, the volume. They say both of these chart patterns have characteristics that you should look out for when looking at volume. The main being increase of volume at the breakout point, and the second is a decrease in volume while in consolidation stage of the pattern. Unfortunately, my trading view account, the pro version has expired, and I'm using the free version right now, so it's very hard for me to show you the volume column here, but it's very simple. Let me show you how you can be able to find that. You go to indicators, you will see the volume profile here. You click on a visible range. As you can see, I cannot see that because it's only available to pro users, so I can start a 30-day trial for this account, or maybe pay for a pro account here. Okay, so I say no thanks. So I can't see that, but what shows you that volume came in here was this continuous red candle. This is like 4 bullish candles in a straight succession. That was a massive volume coming in here. And right here we're seeing a green and red, green, red, just fluctuating, and the move is not really much. Let's see, the highest point it got here was 7,622. It went down to 7,004, came up again 7,005, down 7,4, just like that. Okay, so we've established that there's volume increase here, and that volume has reduced here during this period of price consolidation. Okay, now let's look at the third thing, the support and the resistance line. The trend line that is supporting the higher low in an uptrend and vice versa in a downtrend. Now we're talking about the uptrend. The trend line must have to support a higher low. Now look at the trend line I drew here. The first high here that we got here, this is the second high. So a higher low means that the second high will be lower than the first high. So this here we got 7,618, and then this next low here is 7,602, the next high, sorry. So that's a higher sorry, let me come again. Okay, let me take that again. Let's go back. The support line. Okay, I was actually explaining resistance line instead of the support line. Now the support line, it says the trend line that is supporting the higher lows in an uptrend and vice versa in a downtrend. That's a lower high in a downtrend. But remember, we first of all identify that the trend we are in is an uptrend. So let's go back and identify this in our chart. So this is our chart. This is the support line. This is the lower one is the support line. Just like I explained with a decking, like if you build a story building. I think I explained that. So you scroll, you can go back and get that explanation again. So this is the support line, the down one, where they are using as support. Like when the price hits there, it bounces back. And this is the resistance. Okay, this is the resistance. Just look at what just happened here. Price just hit this line and it bounced back up. Okay, that's making it the third confirmation. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3 now. So let's see what happens if it breaks below and opens and closes below this support line. That means this plan has failed. But if it continues in this within this channel until it breaks out, opens and closes above this resistance, which will become a support when it breaks it, then we know that that bullish plan we are expecting has worked out. Okay, and let's continue. We say that one of the confirmation is that the support, when it's an uptrend, must be making a higher low. Now this is the first high here. The first high here was at 7,614. The next high here came down to 7,600 or thereabout. So it means it made a lower high, a lower high, a lower high. Look at it here. Said under resistance. Sorry, it means it made a lower high. Okay, for resistance. Then the support must have to make a higher. Look at the support, a higher low. Now let's see whether it made a higher low here. By higher low, we mean the first low was at 7,454. The second low, 7,393. See that? That's a low. Okay, that's a higher low. Higher low, yes. Which means the next point must be higher. It must be higher. Okay, it must be higher. This is 7,454. This is 7,385. That's very nice. And this is actually maintaining this trend line I actually drew right now. We are talking about Bitcoin current price. I'm actually using BitMEX chart here, XBT. It's called XBT in BitMEX. So let's look at the next point. Say the breakout. Now that we've been able to establish all these other things, the last one, which is very important, is the breakout. You see, this is the confirmation that price action will continue in the direction of the prior trend. Okay, so confirmation still needs to be that the price closes outside the support resistance area. In our case, it closes outside the resistance area. Okay, you can often see price returning to test the support resistance trend line, but it does not necessarily have to. Also, you can combine the breakout confirmation with a volume surge for extra confirmation. So right now, the third thing that would make us to actually know that yes, we are in for the big ride is if this price, as it has tested this support again and it kept it, it moved back up. If it moves back up, breaks this resistance here, and the candle opens and closes above here, that is what will confirm that we have entered another round of bullish move, and it might come as fast as this. Okay, so now that we've confirmed all these things, the only one remaining now is for us to confirm the breakout. Once there's a breakout, what is a breakout? I mean, because what we actually see here is a bullish pattern. So we are expecting price to hit here, break it, open a candle here, and that will open and close above this resistance line. That will confirm that we are in a bullish and in another move up, and that's when I can be able to enter confidently and take good profit. How do you take profit? You calculate the distance between here, the lowest point here, to the highest point here, and estimate it. That's how you get the estimated profit you are supposed to take for the next move. So let me give you a small calculation of that. Let's go to price range. You can use price range to calculate price between here and here. As you can see, that's like a 9.7%. okay, 9.7% profit, 9.7% profit move. And remember, we are not just doing this training for sport. We are doing this training so you can do small leverage and make some money for yourself. So you don't just depend on sport. You don't just depend on sport, okay? Because sport, if it's a sport that you enter there, you just made like 9% of your money. But this 9% can give you, even if you're on 5x, can give you close to 300% profit, 200 to 300% profit. You see that? Just 9% of 5x, because this is a huge move when it comes to leverage. You understand that now? Okay, so to calculate this, what do? I just go, what's the point we're actually calculating from here? Okay, we're expecting another move here. Let's say, let me calculate from here. Let's say this is where the breakout happens. Let's say the breakout happens here. Let's say 7,600. So I'll just do remember, The percentage here that they gave us here is 9.7, but the truth is I cannot just put 9.7 because it's possible that price might not reach here, but under normal circumstances price is supposed to reach here and pass, but we cannot be 100% sure. Anything can come and cut it short. So what do? I reduce my target maybe to 7%. So let me just say 7% off 7,600, assuming the breakout started from 7,600. So I just say 7% of 7,600 to give me 532. So I'll add this 532 to 7,600. That's where I'm expected to take profit. I just use my calculator. Do 7,600 plus what? 532 to give me 8,100. That's where I'm expected to take profit. Remember, I just took 7%. So some people are expecting this to reach 8,500 or thereabout. So if this works out for me, that's where I'm hoping to take profit at. Okay, so that is it for this. As you can see, price retraced pretty well. It just touched the support line and bounced back. So something else you can do with this knowledge is, if you are a day trader, if you do scalping, you can actually use this to do your scalping and make your money. Okay, for example, as you can see, if you are determined that this, drawn your support line, but as at this place, this wouldn't have been perfect for you. It's from here, because at least you must have you must have 2 or more points, 3 points best. Okay, so now you have 1 point here, you have 2 points here. So from here, when you saw that drop in this support line and it bounced back, you can enter here on scalping. Okay, when you enter here, you exit at the resistance point or close to it. You usually hit it, but I wouldn't suggest that you should just put it at an exact point. No, let's say the exact point here is let's say from here, this is 7,455 or thereabouts. So let's say you enter 7,477, and this is 7,622, right? So you can enter and say 7,600. 7,600 is good. As you can see, it hit it here. Okay, hit it here. Or you can even do 7,580 or 590. Okay, and once it hits it, you wait for retracement, because I wouldn't suggest that you should be shorting a bullish trend, because if you're on short, the market can just move and you forget the big move that you wanted to actually play. So I don't suggest you should short it. If you're scalping and this is a bullish trend, it's best for you to always wait. If the next move you're expecting is an uptrend, you wait. Once you've taken the long here and it hits your target there, wait. Okay, but if you still want to short it, you can short it and use the support line here as your take profit. So once it hits here, it take profit and wait. Now your stop loss will be a little bit below this support line and a little bit above this support line, depending on if you're shorting or taking a long. If it's a long, remember, if it's a long, you are saying that it's going to go up. So if it's going to go up, you're also saying that if it goes down below certain place, it should close it for you. So if you're entering here, you are now saying if it goes down below any of this line, okay, let's say below 6,416 here, should shut it down for you. You understand now? So you enter, let's say 6,450, you're saying 6,416, you should shut it down for you. So if this market now moves and it bounced back, hits this line, breaks it and goes down, once it hits that point, your trade is closed. Okay, so as it moved here, if it is a short you're taking, you're also putting your stop loss just above this resistance line. That's how you do your scalping and you make money. So if you had scalped here, somebody would have made how many trades here? 1 trade, 2 trade, like good moves of $200 or thereabout, $150, $100 to $200, which is good. You understand it now? So that is another way you can play this. So let's go to our PowerPoint and close this this session. Okay, so we are at the end of this class. Okay, we've done the practice. So I would still tell you, you don't just trade this, expect that it's going to work out for you 100%. No. In every, this is just one of the tools you can use. There are like 1,001 indicators you can use out there. So, but what I advise my students is try, and when you see something, for example, we just analyzed a bull flag here, bullish flag here. So we are expecting it to play out, but do not just rely on it 100%. Validate it with like 2 or more other tools or indicators. Validate it. And for you to be able to do that is when we finish our advanced class, when we must have taught you about RSI, the stochastic RSI, okay, or the normal RSI, and we've taught you about the Bollinger Band, the Ichimoku cloud, and every other indicators here, okay. Like there are like 1,000, like so many indicators that you can find on TV, on TradingView. You can search. Some people even create. Can you see a whole lot of it? You see a whole lot of it, a whole lot of indicators. Okay, the relative strength index, that's the RSI, true strength indicator, EMA, stochastic RSI, stochastic, a whole lot of them. But if you can be able to just manage to use 3 or 4 to validate your trade, that's good. If it does not go against, if it goes against you after all this validation, then you know that yes, you have your stop loss to also protect you. It's that simple. It's that simple. As you can see from this chart, anybody who has scalped here using this support line as an entry would have made some good money here. Look at it, from 7,385, that's bounced right up to $7,510. And if you learn the Bollinger Band, you will understand that the middle of the band also stands as a resistance point. The end of the band also stands as resistance point too. So anybody who are taking this trade from here, entry here, can just use this middle of the band as a take profit area, which is around $7,522. It's getting close to that place. Or you can wait for the bigger move, which is breaking this middle line and hitting this top of the band, which is around $7,591. Or you can use the resistance line here as your take profit. So, but whatever be the case, you see that it played out a little bit here, and we are just looking out for in this particular trade now is to get a confirmation, which is a breakout. Once there's a breakout and once the candle opens and closes above this resistance line, that's a signal for us to enter this trade, that this bull flag is actually succeeded. So we just enter for the next big move. So that is it for now. We expect you to be diligent enough to take all the classes and also to make the advanced class, so you get to understand how you can combine this with every other tool, other tools like the stochastic RSI, as you can see here. Okay, this has a meaning which we are going to explain to you when we teach you about the RSI, the Bollinger Band, and every other indicator that we use. So that's where we'll be stopping for today. Okay, so to your success, Mr. Joe. Have fun.